Oh! You already know, man. It's Dion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
Here we go. Another Saturday morning. Saturday, May 16th. Oh, my gosh. Here we are. I don't know where the year is going. Seemed like we were just at the Super Bowl, and now here it is. May 16th, the middle of the year already. Happy birthday to Dolores Jackson Radney. May 16th is her birthday. Congratulations. Happy born day to you, Dolores Jackson Radney. Got to get that in right away. Hey, we talk sports of all sorts here each and every week. And you know what? I usually don't like to get too much into the political persuasion, but unfortunately, with what has transpired in the past week or so, I told you his ass should have been ran after the 13-second game. Everybody knew it. You should have fired his ass. The guy should have been gone. You get a lead with 13 seconds left. How do you lose the game? That's right. How do you lose the game? And how are we going to lose the game of life? We want to keep the game of life going. And for young athletes, young family members out there, and parents, my suggestion right now, there's a movement by a lot of sports people to tell the African-American athletes not to go to Southeastern Conference schools, especially schools in the states of Louisiana, Texas, Tennessee, and South Carolina, because of how they want to rig the elections and get rid of and water down the black vote. So acting like we're going back to the 50s and 60s where the black vote really didn't count. All the achievement at the Willard Tellers Bridge, trying to wash away all of that. No, this 2026, we ain't going back for that. One suggestion by a lot of prominent African-American athletes, people on radio, TV, and the media, hey, black athletes, you don't have to go to these University of Louisiana, University of Texas, University of Tennessee, South Carolina, and other schools to play football, especially football. They love their football. If black people ain't good enough to vote in your damn city, in your state, then we don't need to come play football in your state either. We can go, Indiana just won, University of Indiana just won the national championship in football already. So that's telling you some of the people leaving. Now, you don't have to go to the Alabamas. You don't have to go to the schools like LSU or Texas or Tennessee or South Carolina. Black folks, black parents, wake up! If we can't vote in your state and it means something, then we don't have to come play sports in your states either. So I'm glad to see that movement and the Radman jumping on board with that movement. Don't play sports for those teams. Go to other schools, make your nil money, and do what you got to do in other states. Hey, what about our line dancer? Hey, our line dancer at it again. Nick Saban, he up there with the orange man, want to say he want to cap how much nil money a student athlete can make. What a joke! Did we cap his money when he was pimping the state of Alabama for that being the highest paid person in the state of Alabama? Did we do that, Nick Saban? Did anybody curtail your salary? Why you want to curtail the salaries of the black and brown athletes and athletes across America? All of the athletes across America, which a lot of them are black and brown athletes for the sports of football, basketball, especially, which are some of the high-end sports where the big money comes back to the schools. You didn't try to curtail your salary, so why are you trying to curtail the salary of the athletes? Come on, pimp dancing guy. We know you're line dancing. We know what you're about. You out there doing the electric slide at people's graduation parties, trying to get them to come to your university. Your gig is up. And now you don't want the athletes to make the money either? Give us a break. Nick, go somewhere and sit down, man. Take your line dancer to the Aflac Club on your commercials and all that. Take your stuff somewhere else. But black athletes, black parents out here, don't let your kids go to these southern schools. If they're not going to allow black people to vote and their vote to count, don't go to those schools. Just go USC, UCLA, Indiana, Michigan. Like I said, Indiana won the national championship, so they must be doing something right there. So that's the Radman Rant today. We sick of it. You want to, for whatever reason, dislike black people and want to break us down? No, man, we ain't clowning around. This is serious business. Boycott those schools. Don't go to those schools. go to other schools. You still can make your nil money. You still can make good money. And if you're good enough to make the pros, you'll be seen at some of these other schools. J-GILLZ, welcome. Real Deal Sports Show. I see you ready. Look like you locked and loaded, ready to jump in on the conversation. Good morning, J-GILLZ.
Hey, good morning, Radman. You couldn't have said it better yourself, man. It's just despicable. It's despicable and disgusting the fact that they're trying to take this money out of our pockets, out of our students' pockets. You know, a lot of these times it took us forever. It took us forever and a day just to be able to have the opportunity to get a nil contract. And now they're trying to take the money out of our hands. He's been calling for Nick Saban's head on a silver platter for many, many years. And I'm happy to hear that this Radman Rant is continued to go at Nick Saban and his antics that he's done had over his last couple years, really his whole career. But since he's retired, he is still moving the pendulum back for black athletes. And it's a shame that he can continue to get away with it.
It really is. It's like, how you going to tell a student how much money they can make? Nobody told him how much they could. They never capped his salary, did they, J-GILLZ?
Never capped his salary. He's got paid. He was one of the highest paid men in Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, he's one of the highest paid officials in Alabama. But yet you trying to cap the black man. Come on, man.
He ain't lying.
Absolutely. He ain't lying at all, man. You let them know, man. You cannot do that. You cannot act like that and think you're going to allow it. And then you're going to take the voting rights from the black folks. Soon as the Supreme Court going to vote, and the next day you trying to change the maps around? No, I ain't never seen no nonsense. I ain't never seen no nonsense like this, man. So we as black people in America, we sick of being abused. Black and brown people been abused, the mules of the world, for over 200 years, man. And now you still just don't go to those schools. And I see Bilal, BHM is in the house. Bilal, what's your take on this, man? You sending your kid to one of these to LSU or University of Texas? Is that where your kid going?
Never. Listen, y'all know me off this platform, so y'all know this is the stuff that makes my blood boil. First of all, I want to touch on J-GILLZ talking about Nick Saban. Nick Saban started seeing the writing on the wall once Coach Prime got to Jackson State. Coach Prime got to Jackson State, and Nick Saban, again, and I take nothing away from his football acumen, but in terms of the seeds he's planted that have negatively or detrimentally impacted young black and brown athletes, he's sown those seeds because he saw the dynasty ended. He could have retired a few years sooner than he did because he saw the writings on the wall. That's why he started talking about, Coach Prime is paying these athletes $1 million. And then Coach Prime got on there and said, I'm not even making $1 million. Where I'm paying, these athletes millions, you know what I mean? He was making $300,000 annually himself at Jackson State. He brought attention and awareness to the fact that, the deal he had with Jackson State was he's supposed to get a cut off of the attendance for every sellout home game. And so he shined a light on a lot of the issues related to black and brown athletes in the HBCU settings because of his profile and what he was able to bring there, not just from a football knowledge standpoint, but from a business acumen standpoint. So Nick Saban makes these accusations or innuendos about paying athletes, and then when he saw Travis Hunter flip and go and decommit from Florida State to Jackson State, now it was like, now the NCAA knew they had a issue brewing on their hands where if you get a Coach Prime to cause or bring the top 5-star athletes and have them flip from committed to Power 5 schools to HBCUs, what was going to happen was you were going to see the entire landscape of college football shift and change. And because they saw that, that's why they instituted the NIL. Not because they wanted to pay these athletes or it was overtime. We've been talking about this since the 90s. In the Fab Five, the reason the records that the Fab Five had their banners taken down from Michigan was because of all of the accusations and improprieties that happened during that time. And we're talking early 90s, 1991. So we all the way, now you're talking 2021, and it takes 30 years for the NCAA to make a decision. No, we see when they have to move, they will move because it's in the best interest of those who got those deep pockets. And if I'm honest, those people don't look like us. So when Coach Prime was able to cause that that shift to happen, you know what I mean? The fact that we're now seeing it even at the NFL level with the Rooney Rule being rewritten, and the Florida Attorney General and they're taking the NFL to court about a rule that is a league that's 85%, practically 85% African American. You now having the courts take the NFL to task because there's only 3 head black coaches and they're trying to make sure that there's representation. Yeah, listen, we need to do a lot of things different on a lot of levels as it relates to the game of football and where we are in our representation. If you don't want to respect us, then we can figure out other ways.
Absolutely. It's just disgraceful. And like you said, the Florida AG. Wait, what are you talking about, man? You don't have more black coaches than a lot of teams, man. Especially Tampa Bay, man. Tony Dungy, and you still get Todd Bowles is the coach there. Miami, come on, man. What are you? You know, they just want to grandstand.
No, they want us back in a period of time where it didn't look like. I mean, you know, nobody looked like us. I mean, think about this, right? What we've seen with the repealing of the Voting Rights Act and the gerrymandering that's happened in states like Texas and Louisiana, we're talking about they're up to 190 something seats in the House that could flip because of the new lines, the voting lines, man. If you're talking about super majorities, that's when you can have the 38%. He would need 38% or something of the House in a super majority in order to get some very scary things that will be implemented. Stuff like, the 2-term rule. We could vote on that, and that could be overturned. So those are the kinds of things that we really got to be mindful of.
Absolutely. J-GILLZ, your closing comments on this topic.
No, I think Bilal said it the best. You know what I mean? Those teams were playing it long ago. And the NCAA is only going to act when they need to. You know, I think that's the big major takeaway of this. So it's no surprise when we start to see things happening out of thin air. It's not thin air. It's a strategic thing that's been placed just to continue to keep us down. That was excellent work, fellas.
Excellent. And we got to remember, John, all the people that lived and died and made this thing happen. And then you're going to turn around and try and take it away here in 2026. No, we ain't going back. It's not going backwards. Hurt them in their pockets. Black athletes do not go to those Southern schools. And then, by the way, just closing on that topic, did you hear Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian comments this week about Ole Miss? Lane Kiffin said one of the reasons he said, everybody know he went to LSU, but he said it was hard to get kids to come down there and take a tour of the campus because Ole Miss is so backwards and so back in the Confederate way that it was hard to convince black athletes to come from out of state to come down there and play football at Ole Miss because of just basically he was saying how backwards and how almost segregated it is today in 2026 is almost. Did you hear those comments from and Steve Sarkisian also concurred, Bilal?
I heard him, and here's my thought on it. It didn't stop you from coaching there.
Right.
The history of Mississippi as a state is very well documented. You didn't, and again, the name of Ole Miss was the Rebels. The Rebels represented the Confederate. I mean, come on, stop throwing rocks now. You know what I mean? When you were looking for an opportunity to be a head coach in the SEC, and it was presented to you by Ole Miss, you took it. Now you want to throw rocks and try to, you know what I mean? Say, one of the reasons I left, man. No, I don't want to hear that, man. Save it.
Yeah. He don't he know he loved to pile on when that dude. I said, yeah. When Lane Kiffin, where he come from with these comments, man? Now he want to pile on and try to make it right why he left Ole Miss for LSU. Yeah, he's something else, man. That guy is
Yeah, I heard
totally.
it, right, man. I side-eyed it the whole time. Like, man, you took the job and you knew what Mississippi was as a state before you got there. Don't give me that nonsense now.
Right, J-GILLZ? J-GILLZ, you hear
What
that
it
one?
say? He ain't lying.
Right. All right. Hey, we're going to move on to the next segment. This segment was brought to you by award-winning Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Health, and Life Insurance. Auto, Home, and Health Life Insurance. 1038 Lyle Avenue or 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Call 585-360-0094 for all your insurance needs. Give our friend of the show, Miriam Rivera, a call. And it's almost time for motorcycles and boats to come out. The warm weather looked like it's supposed to finally show up here. I thought once I get back from New Orleans, it would be here, but no. Hopefully this coming week, the warm weather and hot weather will be here this coming week. So if you got a boat you get ready to launch, or you got a motorcycle you ready to do something with, make sure you check the front of the show, Miriam Rivera. She will definitely get that motorcycle registered, get that motorcycle insured, and that boat insured so that you can enjoy and relax and enjoy those toys this summer season. And we're moving on to, hey, we're going to have guests coming in. Hey, we know we did boxing for a minute. We're going to go back to boxing because we got a champion in the house. He even got his belt with him this morning. Shaquille the Thrill just recently won the title or kept his title. Let's hear what Shaquille the Thrill. Welcome to Real Deal Sports Show. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, guys. Again, it's a real privilege to be on the Real Deal Sports Show. I'm so happy to be here this morning to give you guys some good news. And thank you. Thank you.
You're now the Masters heavyweight champion?
Yes, I am. I defended my title last Saturday at Gleason's Gym. I went back and defended my title. Obviously, you see I have my championship belt, and it was a good tournament. I actually didn't have to fight the night before. They gave me a bye because I won the previous year. So I just had to show up on Saturday and do what I have to do, you know. And I came back with the win, and I'm so happy and proud. And so I feel really, really good to be showing you guys this because, you know, when we last spoke last year, I told you I was going to Atlantic City for another fight. And unfortunately, my weight and my blood pressure didn't qualify me to fight at the tournament after the doctors reviewed me. So I came back very disappointed, down, depressed, but I turned it around. I lost 55 pounds. I got my weight down. I got my blood pressure together, and I went down to Brooklyn and took care of business.
And the Masters Championship is for boxers, guys over the age of 50 years of age, correct?
That is correct. That is correct. I mean, we've had fighters there at the age of 72, 60. But yes, once you turn 35, you're disqualified to fight in Golden Gloves and other young amateur tournaments. So what they did many years ago is they provided a tournament for older men that are 35 and over to participate in boxing in the amateur level. But listen, they're not going to match a guy up 55 with a guy that's 36. What they normally do is match you up same age, same weight class, and then you fight. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Question, how'd you lose that weight? And I know once you get, just a quick question, how'd you lose so much weight, especially at an age where it's hard to lose weight? What's your secret to dropping those pounds?
Yeah, I lost 55 pounds. Well, one thing that helped is my lease to my truck ran out. So I had to give up my truck. And I had to do more walking and more biking these past couple of weeks. And I noticed the weight was coming off. So I said, you know what? With gas prices going up and everything, hey, forget the truck for a while. Let's lose some weight. So that helped a lot. Diet, exercise, and just determination to go back and do better as far as my health and everything else. And We got to watch that. We got to be really careful with our health, man. Not just for sports, not for boxing, but just to stay alive and be well, you know?
Absolutely. Bilal, question you have?
Yes, sir. You read my mind right, man. So thank you for coming on, Shaquille the Thrill. My question for you today is, kind of how did you get into boxing, and what age did you start? Did you start boxing?
I started at a young age. I always had an interest in boxing. I always wanted to participate, but when I grew up, I was a swimmer. I didn't play basketball or football, so my interest was more into swimming. And then I watched a Masters tournament, and I saw a guy around my age fight, and I just said to myself, I can beat that guy. I just said, I know I can beat that guy. I'm signing up. And that's all it took. I started when I was 42. I started boxing when I was 42, and I won my first match, and I've been hooked ever since. So that's how I got started. Just signing up, participating, looking at the guy my age, and knowing that, he wasn't in that type of shape to beat me. So I wanted to get in there and win. That's all.
Absolutely. And can you describe kind of the family support and how they've gotten behind you and rallied around, you kind of picking up boxing at that stage of life?
Yeah, my family is very supportive. In fact, a lot of them are watching it right now. Hello, Teresa. That's my cousin. So she, I'm getting a lot of support from family, but the support that I really need is from professional boxing, because I've been in, the Radman knows this. I said this last time. I'm trying to get a professional license, and they're just giving me a hard time. I'm winning. The commissioner told me, just go in there, keep winning, have a few fights, and come back to me. So this time I'm going to try it again, and I'm going to see what he said or she says, because the New York State Commissioner is a woman. I'm going to speak to her and see what she can do this time. But far as support from family and friends, yes, I do have family and friend support. But the support that I really need, and I hope someone is listening, I need a professional boxing license. These heavyweights out here today, terrible. And I'm gonna be straight with you. They're terrible. They're slow, no stamina, and I just know that I can beat a lot of these guys, and I just want a shot. And if I do, hey guys, if I do get my professional license, I'm gonna make history, because the oldest that ever had a boxing debut, was 54. And I'm 54 right now. I'll be 55 in October. So I want to make history. I want to be the oldest man to have a boxing debut.
Wow.
However we can, support and hopefully this platform, affords you that opportunity. Man, we are definitely excited for you, and congratulations on not just winning but defending your Masters title. And how can people follow you and support you on social media, whatever platforms that you might be on?
Well, I have a Facebook page. I'm on Instagram. I'm Shaquille Shabazz. I don't really get into that. My name ain't Ryan Garcia, or none of them guys. I just try to stay in the gym, stay focused. I know the social media can help me a lot, but I don't focus on that. I just want to win. I met Claressa Shields at a boxing match, and I told her I needed some help. She told me, Shaquille the Thrill, STT, all you got to do is just keep winning. That's all you got to do. Don't ask nobody nothing. Just keep winning, and they'll see it. So that's all I'm doing right now. Just focusing, staying in the gym, keep winning, and just try to prove that men over 55 can win championships. And I'm gonna bring a heavyweight championship back to Rochester. I promise you.
J-GILLZ. J-GILLZ, you have a question?
Oh man. Of course, we got Shaquille the Thrill right here on The Real Deal. It's only right. Man, I'm
right.
very passionate about passion. Zeal talk and just having a heart to do stuff, having a passion to do stuff. And to me, it's just remarkable to know that you got this love and passion for boxing. That later on in your life, well, not later on in your life. 40s is still a young man, but to be doing a sport like boxing, it's much later than you can get. Just talk to me about just the when did you learn like just you had the passion? You talked about a little bit about you seeing somebody who wasn't able to do it. You knew you can beat them up, but then just sticking with it. So many people they don't really follow their dreams, and to follow yours at such a late age, and then look at you here with the championship belt. It truly is a blessing. So just talk to me about the passion for boxing and how have you helped those others behind you?
Yes. My passion just comes from being a fan also of boxing. I grew up watching fighters in the 70s. I read a lot of books, from the past, Harry Greb, Gene Tunney, these guys, Sugar Ray Robinson, Jack Johnson, and up into the 70s, Sugar Ray Robinson and Hearns, Hagler. I just love the sport. I just love it. And right now, I feel like that's just something right now that I'm only able to really do on a professional level. Football, basketball, I ain't gonna go nowhere with that. But boxing, I think I have a better chance at winning a heavyweight championship than winning an NBA championship. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, because it's all me. It's all on me. I ain't got to worry about this man not setting the pick or this man not tackling. It's me. It's me in the ring, and it's up to me to get it done. And I feel confident. I feel ready. I feel conditioned, and I just need a shot. And I'm gonna keep telling you guys. And every time I win, I'm gonna come back and show you guys, what I'm doing here. And I appreciate this format, and I love you guys, and thank you, man. Thank you so much again for having me, man. I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah, I'm here for it, man. This is great to see. It's great to see that the passion is still there. There's so many people
Yeah.
that give up on their dreams, and to see you just continuing to fight every single day, have a passion and a true love for the sport, man, it's a blessing to see. So God bless you.
Yeah, a lot of people. I know a lot of people are doubting me. I had some friends tell me, "Skill, don't do it, this and that." I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not trying to hear it, man. I'm getting this title, man. I'm getting this title. I'm gonna get it, or I'm gonna at least get a shot at it. Something's got to give, man. I'm not giving up. And thank you.
Thank you so. All right, the Masters Heavyweight Champion, Shaquille the Thrill Scott. Congratulations on that championship. We're gonna have you back on when you get ready for your next bout, your next opponent. Keep up the good work, and hopefully you'll garner that license, that New York State boxing license, sometime down the road.
Okay, I'll let you know as soon as I get that pro license. You'll be the first one to know, Radman.
All right, thank you so much, and you have a great day.
You too, guys. Thank you.
Take care. Take care. That boy, I tell you, that's why the Real Deal Sports Show. You're gonna always get something different here on the Real Deal Sports Show and find out what's going on in our community. And he's right here in our own backyard, doing his thing. So
55
definitely,
and over. 55
right.
and over.
55 and over. That's right. And that portion of the show was brought to you by Challenger Community News, West New York's largest weekly African-American newspaper. Pick it up weekly. This week, not celebrating, but in memory, Living Memorial and Healing Center for the 5/14/2022. We never forget. We'll never forget what happened to the people in the community back in at the top supermarket, that the black people that were slaughtered. And I got to get their names out here. Celestine Cheney, Roberta Drury, Andre Miko, Catherine Massey, Magus Morrison, Haywood Patterson, Aaron Salter Jr., Geraldine Talley, Ruth Whitfield, and Pearl Young. And Pearl Young, I used to work with her at a nonprofit organization, one of my first jobs back in the day growing up in Buffalo. I do remember Pearl Young, of those 10 people that was innocently killed by some clown at the top supermarket over there in Buffalo, New York. They got a new memorial and healing center, an enduring tribute to those 10 people I just named. So check it out. When you're ever in Buffalo, check out the new memorial they have over there at the top supermarket over there on Jefferson Avenue, Jefferson and East Ferry, right down the street from the Challenger Community News office. So you're right there in the heart of the Black community. It's a shame things like this happen to us in the country. And then you talk about we can't vote, Bilal. Come on, man. Man, it just makes you just so disgusted, man.
This, man. It is definitely disgusting to see what we're seeing. And that people find ways to defend it is what I'm more troubled by is that people are finding ways to defend what they see. And again, Nick Saban defended it because it benefited him. People will find ways to defend the nonsense that happens as long as it benefits them.
Absolutely. And we move on to the NFL schedule just came out the other day. Any surprises on that schedule that you saw, Bilal? Anything that raised eyebrows?
So one of the things that raised eyebrows with me is how all in the NFL is on this kind of international wave and kick. And I get it that you can draw viewership from all over the globe. But, when you're talking about sending teams to, back-to-back international trips, you know what I mean? I think the 49ers have 3 international games this season. They're in Australia, I believe Mexico City as well. I mean, you are putting your athletes at risk when you're traveling them like that in a sport as physically demanding as football. And I think again, I get it. You want to put your best product on the stage when you're talking about the world stage, but also consider the health of these athletes who are putting their livelihoods on the line to go out there and to perform at the highest level possible.
Absolutely, J-GILLZ, your comments on the schedule.
Oh man, yeah, I had a quick one, and it's not because my Dolphins are one of 5 teams that didn't get a national televised game, which is absurd. But I look at the other teams. I look at a team like the Las Vegas Raiders.
Why? Nobody don't want to see them this year.
I definitely I don't understand how a team like the Raiders, with the number 1 pick, Fernando Mendoza, one of the top quarterbacks that we've seen, one of the no question first top quarterbacks. And granted, it was a bad quarterback draft, but still, this guy was the best quarterback in the class, one of the better quarterbacks we've seen in the last couple of years. I don't see how he doesn't get his, and it's not like he's in the scrub division. The Broncos, the Chargers, and the Chiefs, an excellent division with great quarterback play all the way around. I would have thought for sure the Raiders would have got a televised game. You got the Tennessee Titans with Cam Ward, another first-round pick, and then you got the Arizona Cardinals with Jeremiah Love. I just didn't think that those teams, the Dolphins and the Jets, it is what it is. I can't be biased on that one. I wasn't expecting my boys to be national televised, but I thought for sure that the NFL missed the ball on getting a guy like Fernando Mendoza an opportunity to play in the spotlight.
He ain't gonna be playing. Kirk Cousins is.
We'll see.
That's a good point.
We'll see if he finishes. We'll see how that goes. But
And Morris Thompson says they're trying to make that international money. It's all about the money. It's not about the player safety any longer, Bilal.
Yeah, which is again, that's one of those. As somebody who played up to college, it troubles me when I think about, what I mean. That's the fact of where we are. You know what I mean. It is a system where, if you don't have the big money, you're not gonna be. They're not caring. They don't care about your bodies. Get out there and perform. Get out there and play. And that it's unfortunate, but that's where we are. That's the reality.
Yeah. What about you, Radman? What's your thoughts and surprises from the schedule release?
Well, my thoughts is that the Bills should, if they were going to make it to the Super Bowl, last year was the year to make it, because now they back into reality. You're back into a very difficult schedule. Opening at Houston, I didn't see that coming. I figured they would play New England or the Jets to open the season, and then go to Houston sometime in late September or October, November. I'm surprised that last year was the week before Thanksgiving on a Thursday night, and now you're opening at Houston on September 13th. That's a hell of, and then come home and play the Detroit Lions that are not a pushover team at all, coming into that brand new stadium on a Thursday night playing. Bilal, just like what you just saying, no respect for your body, man. That Houston game gonna be physical. That's gonna be a train wreck on Sunday, and you talking 3 days, 3.5 days later, turn around and got to play the Lions. What kind of game? I mean, those teams, it would be normally if they're playing Buffalo and Detroit play on a Sunday with a full week of rest, it could be but now you don't know what you're going to get on that Thursday night game, J-GILLZ. You don't know what you're going to get with the Bills.
And both teams are playing on Thursday, granted. And the Bills are home. Detroit still has to travel, on a short week as well to Buffalo, and that's going to be a tough environment. There's no gimme on that one. But to me, the Radman, it seems like your holidays are going to be booked this year, man. The Bills playing on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah. My Thanksgiving messed up, man. I like being over in Buffalo, but I like being with the family over there in Buffalo on Thanksgiving. Guess I got to roll out to the stadium on Thanksgiving night, man. After having that turkey and stuff, I don't know if I make it out there for Bills and the Chiefs on Thanksgiving night, and like you said, the Bills Bears coming up Christmas, man. Yeah, the holidays are really they like I said. The Bills got a hell of a schedule this year.
And can we talk about those prices? Oh my God! Talk about
Is Usher and Chris Brown playing out there, man? That's Usher and that's R&B prices, man.
$1,000 tickets. Oh my God!
The nosebleeds are what, 700? 700 for the nosebleeds? Oh man!
To your earlier point, Radman, about this kind of scheduling and surprising with the scheduling, I'm so bothered by what gives very manufactured playoff contenders, right? So I guess because New England had one of the softer schedules last year, it made a Super Bowl run. The league has been wanting to see Joe Burrow back in the playoffs, if not the Super Bowl, since his early, first couple of years run in the league. So now Cincinnati has the third softest schedule in the league this year. Again, it's nonsensical, because if we're saying we are generating competition, or we're aimed to create competition amongst the league, right? Because the reality is and there's no, I'm not saying there's any easy win in the NFL. We know it's the NFL for a reason. But when you're talking about softer schedules versus some of the Bills out of the gate got Houston, and then come back who they lost to last year during the regular season, and then got to play a very game Detroit team. On short rest, and then you hear about again schedules like what Cincinnati's getting, and you're like, man, are we trying to manufacture the folks who we want to see in the postseason? And that's it gives WWE-ish. It is screaming Vince McMahon, behind the scenes somewhere, pulling the string.
I don't know, beloved. I don't think that's fair. And I'll say this. And granted, when you say manufacturer, okay, when you're putting first of all, nobody can predict who's going to be a good team and bad team. That's what we have to understand. That can't be predicted. We don't know who's going to be good or bad. Let's just call it what it is. But the schedule, these divisions, they know years and years out which division you're going to play, whether it's the AFC West or the NFC East. Now, granted, where those games are played on the schedule, I'll give you that. But you can't predict, you know what I mean? If you got to play the AFC East and the AFC East is trash because you got the Jets and the Dolphins, you just going to have an easy schedule. You're going to have to play the AFC East. So you can't – I can't give it to you too much. And the Bengals were bad last year, so they're going to get the third – you know what I'm saying? I think they finished, fourth, third? So they're going to play the third teams in the AFC. So, you can't really – it is what it is. But I'll give it to you on where they're placing the games. But, as far as who you play, that's out of their control, man.
So let me ask you a question. It's not because they making the schedules. The schedules are being made. So it's not out of – the 2026 schedule just got released. So it's not like, they locked in these schedules
But we knew that we were going to have to play the NFC North this year as an AFC team. We know that we're going to have to play the Bears, the Packers, the Vikings. You know what I mean, and the Lions. We know we're going to have to pay them. We know we're going to have to play them. Where they play, okay. But regardless, even 3 years ago, based on the rotation, we knew that this season that's the teams that we're going to play because it rotates.
So, and the only other thing, Bilal, that cuts in on there that makes the schedule more difficult than it should be is what the 49ers you mentioned earlier. They had to go to Australia, then they got to go to Mexico. Come on, that's not fair, man. How the heck are you sending us all over the world to play in division games, too? I can see if they play out of division games way over in Australia, but games that count double against your divisional opponent, they open up with the Rams in Australia, and you got to play in Mexico City later this season. It just doesn't make sense to that's an unfair advantage, unfair to the 49ers and teams that have to travel overseas to play games just for the love of money, man. Just the OJ's telling for the love of money, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, and my point, and I hear you, J-GILLZ. What I'm getting at is this: is that when you say we don't know who's good or bad, was your record is with we know that saying, we've heard it. You are what your record says you are. But when you look at what talent and what pieces the Cincinnati Bengals have, particularly on offense, and now that they've bolstered up that defense some, they're not one of those bad teams. You know what I mean? They're not one of those. They're not one of those. They're not the Dolphins. I'll put it that way. And that's no shade. But you know what I mean? It is what it is. They ain't the Dolphins.
For this season.
Get him, Morris Thompson. Get him. Nah.
Yeah, Morris. You're another Dolphin fan. Morris Thompson down the Beltway. Oh, he upset about us abusing the fans. But J-GILLZ, tell us about our website with Kimmy Does It Best, man. There we go. You there? Maybe. Oh, he upset about those Dolphins. Maybe a little more.
Is the Radman muted?
Yeah, no. I'm not.
So then he must be talking about Kimmy Does It Best. Kimmy does it best with our web design, web updates. She has a promotion going on right now where you can revamp your site. Comes with a certain number of pages. Kimmy Does It Best is the best you can go.
Absolutely. It's the best you can go. And then, if you want to go to dinner, Jamaican Soul Restaurant, 211 Genesee Street, featuring soul food Sundays, open noon to 9 p.m. on Sunday and 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. And then last but not least,
dumplings.
What's that?
I need some fried dumplings.
Oh yeah. Got to get those fried dumplings in.
You take the dumplings, I'll take the plantains.
There you go. Right at Jamaica Soul. So we got food for the soul. Make sure we there. They're checking out that food for the soul. And of course, Dally of India restaurant that we can't miss them, Bilal. I know you finally made it over there. Dally of India Experience, the award winning. Tell us about it.
Listen, the voted the best buffet in Monroe County. Warm, authentic Indian food in an inviting atmosphere. Lunch buffet 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Dinner 4:40 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. 3259 South Wind Road in the Windjeff Plaza. Get you some butter chicken. I'm gonna recommend it. I'm gonna recommend the butter chicken. Get you some butter chicken. It's one of my favorite dishes. Go check them out. Dahlia of India.
Absolutely. And now we got to check out the NBA playoff. J-GILLZ, anything surprising last night happened in the two playoff games last night?
Well, I wasn't surprised with the Spurs. When I saw that, with what was it, 8 minutes left, down 30, and Ant-Man says, "Hey, listen, great job, everybody." He slapped up the whole team, down 30 with 8 minutes to go. But it's just that the Spurs. We knew that they were going to come out and play the way they did. They definitely did not let up at all. That went on that 20-point run. And I think that this is going to be one of the better Western Conference finals we've seen in years. Two very young teams, exciting teams, excellent coaches. I'm so excited for this Western Conference finals to see Wemby versus OKC, because OKC, they're supposed to be the Monstars. This big, bad team that everybody's scared of. But nah, Wemby is the true alien. That's the real alien. And I'm excited to see those two teams clash. James Harden. James Harden, man, after last week, I thought he was buried. But he came back strong with 2 clutch performances. And when he truly had a chance to close it out and unwrite that history, that recent history, he failed yet again, and here we are with a Game 7, Detroit versus Cleveland. So we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, the Knicks is just continuing to get their rest. OG Anunoby's continue to heal up and rest up. So I'm excited about that one, too. This is some good basketball we've been seeing down the stretch.
Were you surprised that Detroit won that? How they won that game last night? Were you surprised about how they won the game?
Especially on the road. No, I definitely didn't see that one coming. But Cade Cunningham, in his heroics, he was a man on a mission. So I was very happy to see. I'll let Bilal get a little bit into it as well.
Yeah, I love Cade Cunningham. And actually, the end of game 5 at home that they lost, they're sending 2 at him every time, but the man continues to step up, and of course he needs his teammates to step up. But that 3, they reversed it and changed it into a 2, and I think that shot ended up hurting them at the end of the game in game 5, where they thought it was initially a 3 and they converted it to a 2 because his foot was on the line. But he ice cold. He got ice in his veins. I am curious. I'm not as bothered by what happened with Ant-Man you getting blown out by 30, and the young man did everything he could do. So again, they want to, they got all this AAU basketball where you getting to know guys from the age of 10 up, and then when you get to the league, now you want 80s level competition where we swinging punches at each. Don't go as far as swinging punches, but we want you that kind of intensity, and so save all the handshaking for the end of the game. The game was effectively over. There was 8 minutes left, but they were down 30. That game is over, especially when you start pulling your starters. When you start pulling your starters, game over. So it was as much a statement, not as a reflection of him, but he's saying, okay, if y'all gonna pull me, then y'all saying the game over, then I'll respond like, okay, the game over.
I hear you, but usually you wait till
that knee. You got to make sure he's good for next season. I'm still surprised that he played all those games with that knee.
If they cared about his knee, like that. They wouldn't have been trying to get him back there as soon as they were. So they give this fake. He mattered as much to the Minnesota Timberwolves as much as he could help them get past Denver. He hurt it early in that series and came back to play. Then and was very impactful game 1 and helped. I think that helped them win game 1, but minus DiVincenzo and a hobbled Ant-Man, he gave them more than they could have asked for. And now you want to nitpick about, you know what I mean? Nah, man, we down 30 and you pulling me? Okay, I respect it. Cool. You didn't care about but you definitely didn't care about my knee. You know what I mean? Like you trying, you want to preserve it so I can be, what you want me to be going into next season. But so then I'm about to show you how I feel about going into the next season with 8 minutes left in the game. Then,
yeah, that's what look like they got mend some things up there. I see we have the Fanatic. The Fanatic has joined us briefly. Fanatic, you got a comment on the action last night?
Yeah, of course.
Have we seen the last of LeBron James? Is he done or what?
Nah, he'll be back. There's way too many scrub players out there making max money. LeBron's gonna be back, and man, we never seen. He is the king of longevity. Absolutely. Nobody been better longevity-wise. I definitely that Ant situation, man. Listen, that's one part. We're going to see that Minnesota team, how this really transformed their franchise. To me, but who I really want to shout out, and I'm so excited for this next series, is I'm telling you, my eyes, man, they haven't been – I can be wrong, and I'm prepared to be, as my wife tells me. But I know, as J-GILLZ know, when I'm telling him 5 years ago, and B, not that dude, I'm telling the big O, hey, this dude, Puka Nacua, that dude might be the realest dude out. Hey, I'm telling you what I see now, that's Stephon Castle. When I see his game, Ant-Man is Kobe 8 with the fro. And Stephon Castle is Kobe Bryant 24 Kobe. He plays so cerebral, so tactical, so with a purpose at every point of the game. To be a young cat like that, I'm telling you right now, people are going to be thinking it's hyperbole. I know I've seen enough, but I want to see really a whole lot more because Kobe, when he was young, it was the athleticism. His game was still coming in to have Stephon Castle. He had such a polished game. He looked like a 10-year vet the way he plays. I'm saying he reminded me of Kobe, 24 Kobe, not 8. That is Ant-Man. 24 Kobe I'm going with. And so I'm excited. This next round is going to be electric. We got a game 7 on Sunday with the right to play. Who would have thought the Knicks? Hey, Radman, we got to give Mike Brown some credit. We was about to fire him 3 weeks ago. He was horrible, horrible the way that they were playing. And now, hey, everybody looking like, hey, I ain't heard Tom Thibodeau's name in a minute. Everybody like, how you need, and Leon Rose, give James Dolan, hey, they went with it. They stuck by it, respected. But I'm really interested to see what the Knicks in either Detroit or Detroit. But it don't matter. The Knicks going to win that series. The Knicks going to the finals. Shout out to the Knicks. Even though Detroit been giving them all sorts of fits. Cleveland, I just don't get how flat they came out. But I am intrigued. I will be riveting. Hey, we got past May 1st. Again, shout out to all our graduates, college going through it, and our high school soon to be. I will be watching every minute. Get my date nights on off days. That Western Conference Finals, the match of Stephon Castle with Jalen Williams saying he's back. Again, Ant came back. We knew he was hurt. Jay Will coming back off a hamstring. He may not be right, but you out there. Him and Castle, that's going to be an electric matchup. I am going that far to say Castle looking like a 24 Kobe. What y'all think on Stephon Castle in particular?
So I think in particular, I'm curious to see that matchup you were just talking about, J-GILLZ and Stephon Castle. And I'm curious or intrigued to see it because when you're coming off an injury, even with you now having fresh legs, you're out of game shape conditioning. You haven't played in a while, and you got to be in game conditioning, and rhythmically you haven't been into the flow of what they've done in the playoffs. I would actually have him come off the bench or preserve him, you know what I mean, and kind of work him in somewhere. But I wouldn't have him going right away because I think that could hurt them as much as it could help them in that series. And when you're talking about for what's on the line for OKC defending their NBA championship, I don't know if going in right away with a guy who's, yes, he's a dog, but going with him coming off an injury, knowing that you got the Spurs and Wembanyama, Stephon, listen, they're not about to lay down. They 8-0 right now in the playoffs. They won't be 12-0.
Nah, they definitely not laying down. They are SGA and them. They ain't lost a game all playoffs. The Spurs ain't worried about that. They ain't worried about them.
That is a fact.
It's gonna be so good. But you're right. That's such a great point. Maybe J. Will does come off the bench, and maybe that's the way to get it done. But yeah, it's gonna be the Thunder. They got a bunch of dudes, man, and that's where, to me, no matter what LeBron does, hey, I'm telling you, if I'm interested to see what Giannis does. It's gonna be hard with that the way that the Thunder have it lined up and the way that the Spurs got it lined up. Man, it's definitely wild. Hey, but shout out! I'm glad I got to see Thomas Bryant on the court getting it in. Isaiah Stewart. Shout out to the 585 boys out here making that professional money in the league. Man, respect that. Salute and salute to all people there.
Welcome BacSpin, back in. Welcome back.
BacSpin, it ain't time yet. It ain't time, BacSpin.
It's that time, man. Y'all keep it like the show just flies by, man. Y'all got your commentary going on and everything, and I'm just here for it. You know, hey, I can't wait the football season.
I was just gonna say, come on, hey, we gotta keep pulling people behind the curtain. When we get our fantasy league back open, hey,
you already know. I'm looking forward. I'm studying already. You know what I mean? I'm looking out these rookies that's in training camp and all of that. Hey, man, I got to get back to the top, baby. I got to get back.
I always love that name, back on top. Always love that name.
Allow, what's up? You in this year? What?
Oh, listen, count me in. And before we get off, happy birthday to my wife. Y'all got to help me wish her a happy birthday because I'm taking time away from celebrating her.
Yeah.
I love what we do on here every week, each and every
Absolutely.
week. Sports show.
Happy born day to your wifey, man. Straight up.
Absolutely. And Dolores Jackson Radney, her birthday today as well.
My mom, man. Happy birthday,
Mr.
mama.
Radney. Happy
I love it.
Happy birthday to the
Happy
great
birthday
lady,
to
the
the
real
Lord.
deal.
I love y'all, man. Y'all do me a favor. Have a great weekend. Look like Rochester finally starting to get some summer weather. And we definitely got to enjoy that this weekend. You heard?
Back in time mix show. Get it where you need it, right?
You already know it's about to be lit right here on the B Real Deal Sports Show every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. The B1055 Rock City. Keep it where you need it. The Back in Time Mix Show is on the way.